for an open mic tonight. We are not licensed investment advisors or financial planners. We're not brokers either. So do your own due diligence, know what you own, and always make sure if you have a question, come on board. Ask what you have to ask. We're here to help guide you to where you can find information about companies and make smart decisions. So tonight we're going to have an amazing open mic. I'm going to go ahead and invite OTC Method Man, as I call him, up for co-hosting. Guys, when you're in here, go ahead and share this space. Make sure other people know we are starting momentarily. You don't want to miss this.
Hello, hello.
What's going on, big man?
Ready for action.
I hope so.
You bet. Get some folks in here, start talking tickers. We can. So you want to kick it off, Nick? What's your fave?
My fave is 3DX, DDDX, 3D metal printing company out of Ferndale. I've held a position down from 30 cents to 1 cent. So again, disclaimer for anyone's coming in, I'll take a long position. I work for these companies, but that's my favorite. I think it's got a lot of traction. I always compare the 3D printing sector to the e-commerce sector, how it bubbled, it ballooned, it busted, everybody wrote it off, and then 20 years later, Amazon has taken over the world, right? And e-commerce is definitely here to stay. So that's my pick. Great management team, real business, has real assets, has some convertible debt on the books that they're working through. And the stock price hasn't performed great, but I think it's a good entry point. And, it seems that people like these lower price stocks. So, that's my play. And then I got two other. Go ahead.
I got a question for you, man. Why hasn't 3DX come on a space yet with us? What's going on?
Yeah, I'll get them on. What do you call it? They've been pretty open about coming on spaces with just about anybody. I mean, that was one of the first things I told them to do. I always tell the OTC companies, like, get out there and talk to retail, like, see what they want to hear.
That's the name of the game.
Yeah, I mean, I just think you'd be foolish to not talk to people that are spending money to invest in your company. Like, why would you not talk to them? Like, so yeah, but I'll mention it, and I'm sure they'll be up here next time. They're doing a spaces with or a video YouTube with Buffalo Fireside Chat Live next Monday. But yeah, man, anytime. And I also represent GRPS and EGYF. GRPS is 1,800 acre shrimp farm in Arroyo, Texas. So you'll catch a common trend with a lot of these, which is, number one, I like a real company, a company that actually makes money. And I'm not bashing any other kind of plays, because there's some people that play things with no revenue or just volume, right? So kudos to anybody who's working their strategy. But 1,800 acre shrimp farm in Texas. I thought that was an interesting play. I like aquaculture. The CEO there was a former Chase executive, Adam Thomas. So he's, pretty diligent. And then EGYF, which is really a startup in all senses of the word. They're working on a patented technology that has a solar panel with a solar box. It's really a patent play. But the CEO there is really focused on, or I should say the vice president there, Keith, is very focused on getting government contracts. And I was just at the Microcap Conference in Atlantic City, and I saw, while everybody was drinking at the bar, this guy's writing an RFP for a government contract. And I'm like, man. So I like to bet on CEOs. Those are my three plays, man.
So how was the conference?
Thank you.
The conference was awesome, and I've always said to anybody who's new in or even experienced in retail, try to get to one of those conferences at least once in your career, because it just opens up so much information from you. Like, all the market makers are there, all the transfer agents are usually there, the accountants, the lawyers, and probably like 100 CEOs of OTC/NASDAQ microcaps. And yeah, I took 20 meetings with 20 companies, and saw a bunch of people trying to raise capital and trying to make their vision happen. And it was cool. It's definitely great for DD, because all the connectors in the industry are at those conferences. There's another one in New York called LD Micro that's coming up, I think, next week. So if anyone's interested can get in. LD Micro in New York is another microcap conference.
Will it be going on next weekend?
I think so. I don't know. I'd have to Google the date, but if it's not that, so there's a couple if anyone's interested. LD Micro, and I'm not affiliated with any of these. These are just Microcap conferences. But LD Micro in New York, I think, is next week or the week after. And then at the beginning, what are we in, March? Somewhere in April, the middle of April, it's Planet Microcap in Las Vegas. And there's like the same deal. Like they're all kind of the same thing. There's like 100 companies that show up. And then there's a bunch of service providers like investor relations, lawyers, accountants, auditors, transfer agents. The whole industry is basically there. So if you go there, you really meet the nucleus of a lot of these deals. Like if you're reading through the filings of a lot of these deals, a lot of these attorneys and market makers and funders, you'll eventually meet there. So I think it's a good use of time if you're invested in the OTC.
Nice. Thanks for the info, man.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks for the platform, guys.
Appreciate it.
If it's okay,
what's on your mind, man?
I have a question for Nick. Hey, Nick, great to
What's
see
up,
you.
Cheeto? Yeah, great to speak to you, man.
Yeah. What I wanted to know is DDDX. You think they are on the cusp of some serious revenue growth in the near future?
Yeah, I don't. If you want to be honest, right? I don't think. By the way, it's not just DDDX. I don't think any of these companies are, just because they're in the preliminary stage. Now, does that mean that if they get around the financing, they can't explode growth? Probably, but organically, explosive. I guess you would have to define explosive, because for me, under 10 million in revenue is still low, right? Because under 10 million in revenue, maybe you have $1 million in EBITDA, 2 million in EBITDA. It's still not a lot, right? And by most standards on Wall Street, it's nano cap. It's not even microcap. So, I mean, they're still under $1 million in revenue. I think they have interesting technology. I think that once the technology clicks, so additive manufacturing in general wasn't a technology that existed before, 10 years ago, 20 years. So they're just now implementing that. But once that sticks, if they can hold out in time, I think it'll be a good play. That's kind of my take on it.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks.
Hey guys, if we could pause for 1 second. Everybody that's in the room, if you would share this space, DM some people. Let's get this rocking. There's too many things to talk about to only have 25 people show up on a Thursday when it's OTC time. So if you would share it, I greatly appreciate it. And let's continue.
Yeah, I guess a few people might already be starting that long weekend travel too. But I mean, we got lots to talk about. I know people want to get their plays out. What about you, Shido? Anything on your mind that you're liking?
I don't have anything on my mind right now. I would be definitely interested if somebody has some more information about the IGPK, about the conference that started yesterday. I don't know if anybody is here that has more information. I don't think the stock was particularly good today, so I guess nothing earth-shattering came out of it. I was just wondering if somebody has some more insight.
Yeah, I've watched those videos, and it's always just like, learn to invest in power. I like what's the scoop?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't watched them yet. So
yeah, I've watched a couple, and they talk about the raw bones, is what they said. Raw bones. Yeah, it was really strange.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's
gotta be metaphorical, right?
That's what they were saying. Raw bones. I don't know what that means. The raw bones are no good for you, are they?
I don't know.
I don't know. Chinese medicine always used ground up raw bones of special things to be able to increase health and vitality in certain areas. So I don't know if that's what they're referring to.
Oh, I see.
For some reason, I doubt it.
I went somewhere else completely. My goodness, they're out of control over there. Someone like that.
Some of these stories are hard to swallow on the OTC. I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah, I often tell peeps it's amazing what you witness on the OTC, like in a couple of years or in 10, 15 years. It's mind blowing, and sometimes it makes a lot of it's fun, If we couldn't laugh anymore in our job, then something would be wrong. And there is stories out there. I have a good laugh here and there, and it's just something you remember for years. Some of these stories.
You know what's funny? I agree. I take the same train of thought. If you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. But it's interesting. Now I'm 42, and I've always been interested in penny stocks. And the same events I saw at 18, at 25, at 30, at 35, at 40, I saw them in different lights because of different things I learned, right? Like at 18, I saw it one way. And then by the time I was 35, so I'm curious to know what it's going to be like when I'm 60, because the OTC is like an onion. You just keep peeling it away, and you learn something else, and you learn something else, and it's an exciting space for that reason.
55 vet. Do you have some color on this IGPK stuff?
Hi guys, how you doing?
Good.
Good. What's going on?
Well, no, I do follow it. I do have a few shares. There's a lot of a lot of posts today. I guess you got to follow it. And yeah, with that ceremony today, they did mention there's I don't know if you watched the actual video. Has anyone watched the video?
No, I wouldn't even know where to go to watch it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I think
Post a link in the chat, man. Come on.
Hold on. Yeah, well, I can do that. I'll put it in the comments there, and then you guys can take a look at it. But
we could do a live reaction.
But they did mention there was a big sign they had, like one of those big gong things that you hit, the brass circle, and right below that it had the company name, and then it said NASDAQ and the new symbol. It's not IDGK. There's a new symbol now. That's supposed to be part of the IGDK is going to be converting to that new symbol, according to them. That's coming. But see, they still have to post their financials. They're still on a yield status. So I think that has to happen first. But you can watch the the video and you'll see it there. Like they highlighted that, and that's the big thing where supposedly that's going to be the new company symbol.
Yeah.
And these guys are talking. You look at billions of dollars in sales revenue, and so I don't know.
Yeah, they have to get the merger and the change of control.
Right.
FINRA and then OTC Markets. I mean, the reason they have the yield sign is not because they are missing a filing, because they don't. Until in a few days, then it's another situation. But right now, they don't miss a filing. The only reason it's because OTC Markets does this if there is a change of control in the background happening. And until they are satisfied with everything and they get a green light, I think probably from FINRA or whoever, like, for example, SPUSI got a few days ago, finally. Then they get the access, and the new guys get the access, and then the yield sign would go away. You know? Because right now there is all filings filed for them. So they couldn't file anything right now that would be missing. In a few days, it's different because now the annual gets due, obviously, and so that's then different. But right now, there is no other reason for the yield sign.
Okay. All right. Okay, thanks for that.
Beauty. So get your requests in, guys. We'd love to hear more. Love to hear your plays, your ideas. It was a weird week for sure.
Yeah, I'm sitting here looking at all the market activity on OTC Markets, and out of all the advancers, I mean, the majority of them have less than $70,000 worth of volume going through them. There's a few that really stood out and still don't have a tremendous amount, like MEOBF only had like $235,000 worth of volume go through. CTARF had $182,000 of volume go through, but the rest, man, it's just like SGTM had 204,000 in volume trade today, but the rest, they're like 10,000, 5,000, 19. I mean, and these are the gainers. There's not a lot of money flowing through at this present moment.
No, it's a very tough situation, and like I said before, I feel like it's just a combination of things. I mean, the OTC markets itself felt that they wanted to, like when you see them slap a caveat emptor on NILA without even investigating it, it goes to show how much they're worried about what retail is doing versus their new business focus, which is ADRs and foreign stocks. And that's the trouble, and that's why finding that perfect thing, it's really the challenge right now.
Yeah, just
Really the challenge.
to speak to that in part. I remember when I first joined 3DX, and we wanted to set up a meeting with the OTC Markets to make sure everything was on par. So we give them a call. They wouldn't even take a meeting with us, and we were pink current. And basically, to speak to OTC Methods point, they're like, if you're OTCQB, OTCQX, you can come in. And basically, if not, the OTC Pink is probably a loss leader for them, because between the ADRs, the ETFs, and the banks, there's a lot of regional banks trading on the OTCQX. That's really their big source of income there. So they don't really care that much about pink sheets, and they, every couple years, in my experience, I've now watched it for at least 20 years. Every 7 years, they come in and they kill a bunch of companies that they just think are, for whatever reason, there's a litmus of reasons why.
Their shelves are sitting there. They're not doing anything.
There may have been a bad actor there. They missed filings. They're not audited, and they might be misstating. Because if they're not audited, I mean, you might as well just assume that they're lying, right? Because you don't know. You really don't know. Like, and look, some of my companies are unaudited. I get it, but if they're not, and even when they are audited, by the way, doesn't mean there's not fraud in some of these, mega cap companies. But on the OTC, I think that's what they're thinking. So there's a whole litmus of reasons why they would just kick a bunch off. And it seems like every 7 years they like to clean it up, and it's probably because it doesn't make them a lot of money.
Yeah,
The frustrating part is
there's
some companies that are really doing what they have to do to get audited, get their financials up to date, and get out of OTC Pink. But how are they going to get their attention to be able to do that if they're not even answering their calls or setting meetings? It's like,
they don't. They're not concerned with the operating
if you
businesses. They're really not concerned with the operating businesses or your market cap or your flow, which kind of sucks, right? Because if you're the stock exchange, you would think you want your companies to all uplist and go out. But yeah, I think they're focused on their revenue drivers, right? Regional banks, ADRs. When you have Adidas or Rolls Royce trading here, they don't care about your pink sheet company that's paying them, what is it, 20 G's a year to, get through the process. Like, they're not thinking about that.
No, it's true. It's absolutely true, and that's where the trouble is. We got a request here from Fox. Let's see what's on your mind. Fox, welcome. He's just connecting now. Hello, Fox. It looks like you're connected. Unmute that mic for us.
All right, cool. Is everything cool? Can you hear me?
We can hear you fine.
Sweet. Thanks for giving me a mic to speak. I just want to talk about another ticker. I got a few shares of the IGPK, and I personally am going to wait until I get some solid notes from the company. And I know, there's a lot of speculation going around, but and I'm wondering if anybody knows when the financials are out, like when their annual report's going to be out. And I'd also like to get some thoughts on another ticker, FBEC. It's a shell company. It's got a yield sign on it, and according to what I've seen, it's got. And I'm sorry if this has already been covered in the space, but it's got a Vietnamese travel social media company moving in and taking control over that shell. And if anybody has any information on it, that would be cool, because the name of the company sounds like a major troll. It's HAHALOLO, which if you
what?
It's no shit, dude. It's HAHALOLO.com. The website. That's
Hello?
like haha LOL.
yeah, exactly. And I think, I mean, it's. I checked the OTC Markets website, and somebody's
Yeah.
taking control over it, like on the 25th. So just a couple days ago, and I just wanted to know if anybody has any information or any insight on that.
I'm
This
jumping on the
company
site
lives
right
on
now.
Orange Blossom Trail in Orlando, where I was born. I know the location the OTC market says it's at.
Maybe
Right.
we could try a who is search on that right now. Let me try that.
Try look it up.
I'm all over this.
HAHALOLO.com.
Laugh out loud.
It's
Oh,
an actual website, dude. Seriously.
yeah, I'm on it right now. Wow.
It sounds like a major troll. I get it. Like somebody's, laughing at you if you invest in it, but hey,
I don't know.
it
It
seems
sounds kind of like it's
it seems legit.
maybe it's gambling.
It
There's
looks like
throw
No, I'm
effect,
here.
like a
It
rewards,
looks kind
travel
of like a
shopping.
website.
travel site. It looks like a travel site.
Yeah.
Huh.
So my thing is that it kind of took over control of the company a couple days ago, and if anybody
It's a
has any
Chinese
insight,
site. Wait, or is it?
it's Vietnamese.
Vietnamese.
Thai? Vietnamese. Okay. It's a Vietnamese travel location site. It's
Yeah,
slash social media, it looks like.
yeah. And I tried looking for the market cap for that company, but I couldn't find anything. And I looked up Nasdaq. I couldn't find anything. I didn't check the Nasdaq website. I should have, but it started out in the trips, and now it almost went up to 2 cents.
Okay,
Oh,
so
I'm
I,
sorry,
I'm
dub two. Sorry, dub two.
so I just looked it up on the who is information on the internet there, and it
Yeah.
looks like the website was actually created in 2016. So that's pretty good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the Wayback Machine Internet Archive.
No.
Okay, so if you just type in Wayback Machine, it'll take you to archive.org.
Uh huh.
And then you can
Nice.
paste the URL into it, and they have instances of snapshots of the page. I'll post the link into the comments
Okay.
so
The
we
point
can.
is, you can go back through the developments of the website over the course of time and see, like, was it something else before? Did they all of a sudden change it? Like, is it legitimate? Pretty much. You're able to dissect it.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm just going to post it right into the chat link now. Let's take a peek here. There we go.
Yeah, because they I've seen posts on social media, and I tried to look it up, and um, apparently they're taking over the shell, and they're uh, wanting to move up to Nasdaq, which is obviously I've been investing in some OTC companies over the past few years, and I've gotten burned by a couple of them, and I'm really tired of it, and I'd like to find some solid companies. So this one kind of looks legit.
Interesting. So here's a capture from February 7th, 2023, and it looked like some type of a Facebook knockoff. Go on to that link I just posted in there and look at some of the different iterations of the page. Because I've got November 13th, 2023. I'm going to click that and take a look. Do you see how the page works? Are you on it now?
Do you have to click on the calendar date to see the snapshot?
Yeah, there's like little circles around each calendar date.
I went back to April 30th of 22. I'm not seeing anything.
I gotta bounce, guys, but thanks for the platform, man. I'll share the page again, and
All right, have a good one. Thanks for the share.
enjoy the weekend, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
That was Nick, right?
Yeah.
It looks like a similar page. I mean, ay, ay.
I'm not trying to take up too much of people's times. I know
No, this
maybe
is
other
what we
people
want to
want to
do. This is
get up.
what we're here for. You know what I mean? Like that. This is it.
Okay, cool. I appreciate it. Thank
Yeah.
you.
I don't.
Right now I'm driving, so I'm on my headset right now. But like I said, it was in trips. It started out at like trip 6, and now it went up to dub 2, and it's down to dub 1-6. And I don't know. It may be legit. I don't know. It was just taking over control, like I said a couple days ago, and you know, I don't know. I just wanted to throw it out there, see if anybody knew anything about it. That's all.
Well, at bare minimum, it looks like the site's been around for, at least they didn't just cook up the site yesterday. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
that's got to be worth something.
I did check out the website, and it looks legit. It looks
It's
pretty
okay.
straight.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't know what the market. I couldn't find the market cap on it. I looked it up on OTC, but FBEC is, like I said, a shell. But I was trying to find the market cap for the other company, but
yeah, I mean, if they merge into FBEC, they are a private company, so you won't find a market cap anywhere.
Yeah, you won't get it until they start filing as that.
It's not listed out there yet. So
okay.
You wouldn't.
And
yeah.
I just wanted to see if anybody else was following it.
No, I haven't. But great move, huh? Wow.
Yeah, good move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tyler, man, get on up here. Say something.
All right. Thanks for popping by, Fox.
I'm going to drop out. Yep.
Have a good one. Drive safe.
All right. Tyler wanted us to speak about a stock, and I'm trying to get him to do it. So I hope y'all speak about PWDY. Do you have something to say? It's a super robot play. I'd be worried about the front
boy,
run.
Shalom Recht has been in it. Any thoughts on the last couple of days, bud? I know he's been following it really closely. We'll see. I mean, they didn't really react overly to the AS raise. I mean, they tweeted that they're just having that raised AS to cover like a loan that they took. So it's fine, I guess. Here he is.
Well, if they took convertible debt, then yeah, you're gonna have to extend the AS to cover your ass, basically.
Here he is. He's coming up. Give us the scoop, man.
Sorry, it just broke out. Did you say my name?
Yeah. Was interested in the scoop there. How you're feeling about the action on PWDY?
I think it's great. I mean, they filed for the authorized share increase, and like you said, you thought that most people may have a negative reaction to that, and then the following morning at 4 or 5 a.m. Eastern, they came out and they said that the increase in authorized is going to be used as collateral in case they default on a bridge loan. And so I didn't know what a bridge loan was. So I looked it up. It's like a short-term loan, maybe high interest, but can be used for a quick purchase of an asset or an entity or a acquisition, whatever. So, to me, it looks pretty promising. I'd rather them not issue shares, and then I'd rather them take on debt, and then if the incoming company has enough profits to pay that debt, I think that looks pretty good.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I guess we'll see what they have in terms of a merger and stuff, and go from there.
Yeah, I mean, like Shido said, they'll probably file the 10K on Sunday, and then it'll get released on Monday. So I'm guessing that's what's going to happen, and then from there, I'm guessing that they'll just keep rolling out information.
I guess we'll see, but it was nice to hear from them. That's for sure.
Definitely, because the last tweet was a long ways off, so they're definitely paying attention. I think they know that they're getting more attention on social media, and I think that they're gonna use that.
Yeah. Well, it was clear they were paying for that attention to some point. mean, I believe they've paid Super Robot to help promote the company on social media, if I'm not mistaken.
Gotcha.
It was definitely good that they tweeted that stuff in the morning. I think it helped stabilize the stock and not get some panic selling, I guess. So that was a positive, because some of these guys, they don't care at all. I mean, they couldn't be bothered. But these guys, they do things like this usually. So it wasn't too bad. Yeah, and maybe they filed the annual, or maybe they filed the NT filing. Who knows? Maybe they filed the late filing.
Guess we'll see, but not bad. Not bad at all. It didn't get dumped, and that's the good news. People heard what they had to say, and I guess we'll see what's next from them.
Yeah.
Man,
What's up next, guys?
Thanks for the update. We got that TPIA that I like is still hanging in there. There's been some big bids popping up. I mean, it is still in the AI space, which is interesting. Also, some okay news came out on this WRIT today, WRIT. They own the rights to the video games of Dune, Dune, and now that the Dune 2, they also own the rights to Dune 2, the game. And so they'll be launching, I guess, an NFT collection that
Oh wow.
will be called Dune 2 on Solana. And it got just a barely any volume, just a quick up and down today. But yeah, that WRIT, you might want to keep an eye on it, because they own that intellectual property for those Dune games. And what better time to launch that NFT collection than with that movie coming out? So maybe something to watch for some volume. They took a little rip at it today, but certainly worth keeping an eye on.
Just curious, like, what's the okay? If we could dissect this, the people that are in the market on Solana, the majority of people trading, buying, and putting the money into that, where would you say their age range is? Are they older? Are they people old enough to like have loved Dune and be part of Dune, cult, or are they younger and just like maybe have heard of it and it's nostalgic? But I'm just wondering if it is the younger generation that's getting involved in this. Have they missed the mark on what they wanted to put their money behind?
Well, it's a good question. And, I mean, my saying this about RIT is not necessarily like, hey, this is amazing. Like I'm really reaching here to talk about something positive that's happening on this market. You know what I mean? Like I'm doing my best, but like the mergers, the things that are coming into these tickers, um, like like we got to see some real investment here. So, I mean, that's a nice.
From years ago.
You're back?
Sheesh. I don't know what the hell happened. I missed everything. I got into a good conversation about LTNC, and all of a sudden my volume dropped out, and I was frozen.
It sounded like you were having a fight with a tornado.
Really?
Yeah, exactly. Like with the tiger or something. I thought you might be fighting with the tiger.
Yeah, but back to LTNC. I mean, they did put out a filing, so I guess they could go yield at some point here and bring these bag holders back to life, which wouldn't be too bad.
They've been putting a lot into things behind the scenes. I'm just like curious with all of the work and money and finally getting locked in beverage down and starting to do spaces and stuff. I'm just curious. Like, this was an old Ryan Shadle play. I was there when he S1'd this company on OTC Markets back in the day. I handled all of his press releases and filings, and we did some amazing stuff with the ticker back then, but, he ended up letting somebody else take it over. It's gone through hell in a handbasket, and it's being revived, it seems like. And the chart looks interesting for some reason. Like 3 times it's tested resistance levels at like 0.024, which is about the same price per share the stock was at when he let somebody take it over quite a long time ago.
Well, what I'm
Yeah.
going to do here is I'm going to put a anchored volume weighted average price from like the tippy top here of when it started dumping. And it looks like their average, like if you held it, like when it really started to dump, like kind of April 2021, the majority of the, actually, let me do this. I'm going to run an anchor from the beginning of the whole move to today. So on average, from the day that it got started, which was really at the start of February 2021, to today, people are holding bags on average at 0.025, 2.5 cents. So, I mean, for it to go current, there certainly could be some upside there for sure.
Yeah, and it would be good. I mean, for the OTC, it would be good. These huge liquidity bags out there that are either on the expert or not trading anymore, whatever. If some of them come back to life, I figure it can only help if people start to sell, get some liquidity back, use it for other stocks. So that would be good. It's the same like with CYBL, where a lot of people are stuck with the CE. So these things would be really good for the OTC, I think.
Yeah, so I guess we'll see. I mean, the unfortunate part of this is, while it's still gray, no Americans can buy it. Meanwhile, people in other countries can buy it. Like I could just buy a bunch of this.
So where's volume coming from?
Canadians and Europeans, and
Yeah, exactly.
so like technically I could just load the piss out of this, and then when it goes current and gaps up, just dump into the gap.
Yeah, some will do that for sure.
Ouch.
Some are doing that.
Yeah, so it's kind of annoying that they do that. These brokers stick their nose into the business of regulation, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it's kind of the same situation we have experienced back then with ATVK, when like a lot of people were able to buy it really cheap, and once it got really off the CE, it ran for like 7 minutes and then it dumped. Because
Well, and people were blaming. They were like, "Oh, you tweeted it because you loaded it." Like I didn't even have time to get it out. It dumped so fast. Like I even went red on it, and I had it in the gray, and that is no lie. Like it was such a nasty pig.
Yeah.
Shalom Rect is back. Let's hear what's on his mind here.
I just have a question. You said Americans can't buy it. What is stopping Americans from buying it? Just
So
curious.
brokers in the United States right now are not allowing retail investors. So TDA, E-Trade, Schwab, all those retail investors
Does
can't
that
buy
include
something.
Webull or Robinhood or any of the smaller platforms that will
So
let you buy
these
pennies?
stocks aren't listed on them, like these pinky
I'm
pink.
looking it up on Webull to find out.
Go ahead.
I'm just
Yeah, but in
curious.
general, it will include every US broker. It's not possible with any US broker.
I'm just curious because I remember a long time ago, or maybe it wasn't that long ago, but it was back when GVSI was like up at 4 cents, like the high that it got to, and
I
everyone
can
was
buy
like,
it.
and everyone was like, "Oh, like Americans can't buy it or whatever." I was able to buy it I used Siebert, and I was not
Yeah,
sure if like I don't know if like
sometimes
do I
you
have an
can
upper
buy it,
hand?
and that's the frustrating part about it, is that like it's obviously up to human hands somewhere to flip that switch. And so in some cases, like ATVK for instance, while it was on a caveat emptor, E-Trade could buy it, but TD Ameritrade could not buy it. And
So I'm
so
on Webull.
okay.
I put in an order for LTNC, and it takes me to agreements and disclosures, and you have to check off that you agree to the terms of service and you've read the disclosures and agreement before you're able to do it. But it'll let you submit a purchase order for shares of LTNC.
Okay, well maybe
Really? It should not. I mean, because that's an official
yeah, it
thing.
shouldn't.
out there that US brokers don't, because that would be unbelievable if some wouldn't comply with that rule. That's weird.
It's Webull. I don't know. Like I'm curious. It says, like, I just put in an order to buy 10 shares just to see if I could, and it's letting me do it.
Well, I mean, that might be a revelation if that would actually go through. I mean, that might be a huge revelation for OTC traders everywhere if it actually were to go through.
Yeah, because many would love to buy this. I know I talk a lot to people, but they just can't with their brokers. So that would be weird. Would be interesting if that would go through.
That's crazy. I'll find out tomorrow. Market's closed, but
Monday, yeah.
Yeah, because I wondered. I mean, I know brokers do that, but and every house pretty much is saying that they won't. Every major house is like, you can't deposit shares of a penny stock. They need to be a fully listed company, even if it's penny stock exempt, and they're verified and all these other things. It's still a speculative stock, and not now Schwab, which was TD Ameritrade. They won't let you do it. It doesn't matter. I've got shares of companies. I'll never be able to deposit. There's only like 4 brokers that are offshore that'll let you do it, but they take like 20 or 30% and only let you sell like 20% of the daily volume. It's just there's so much crap involved with it. It's not worth it.
Yeah, and those restrictions are kind of what were the reason that the mega pumps ended, because people couldn't deposit shares.
Exactly.
And that's another reason why, because we used to run into situations, 2015, 16, 17, where someone, got some shares, deposited them, put up a big fat prop bid and ran it for you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And now they can't do that, which is why another reason that you don't have these sick runs.
Yeah, too much over-regulation, for sure. It's one of the big problems in the OTC. I remember like 10, 15 years ago, it wouldn't be a problem with a European online broker to buy OTCs. That's impossible for years now. You have no chance from a European broker to buy an OTC stock,
Yeah, I know. So there's lots to do, and you're seeing these guys running up these silly coins. Like, I mean, I've been in the hamster coin now from 0.0013, and it just hit 0.018 today.
Unbelievable.
From Sunday.
Wow.
So if the SEC wants people back in a regulated environment, they're going to have to loosen the reins, and that could absolutely happen.
You think so?
I gotta want to believe. You know what I mean?
Gotta have some hope left, man.
Whenever we chat, you're usually the optimist, Shido. Okay, you're the guy.
Yeah, more than you. That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Anyone else with anything on their mind? I think we got about 10 minutes there, Josh.
Yeah. Well, I pulled up one that was doing pretty good. It's not a super penny stock, but SGTM, Sustainable Green Team Limited.
Yes.
150 million market cap, but they did 94,000 shares today. They moved a really good amount of money through their company, and we're up 58.62%.
Yeah, so that one, we were watching it yesterday as well, and that one, it's looking to be maybe some type of boiler room action, because
really
any news or anything that they're doing is not any different than anything they've been saying in the past. They're basically the exact same company. I would say that versus when it started getting just laced with volume, 2-3 days ago. There were no material changes at all. And so my guess is that this is probably some type of boiler room action. But I guess time will tell.
I came from a boiler room, so when somebody says there's boiler room action, I'm thinking, there's a call center, there's email marketing campaigns going out, there's newsletters, articles being written, and people are hitting the ground running with trying to tell people in elevators to buy the stock. But I don't see that happen anymore. The last time I was seeing, there is a group that's doing something similar, and I remember they somehow got my contact information and were texting me and calling me and pitching. Oh, this one stock, Pedro's List, PDRO.
Yes, I remember that one.
Dude,
I was on that really early.
they were
Yeah.
going
Oh man.
gangster with it, man. They had people on the phone pitching me the stock, talking about, I really felt like I was back in the boiler room days. And from my understanding, they're not allowed to do that. So I don't know how it was happening.
Well, it got the caveat emptor shortly thereafter, but the funny thing about it is it didn't get that until they converted millions and millions of dollars worth of shares.
Yeah.
And the only people that got enriched were people with enough collateral to put a short on it. And so, I mean, it goes to show, and then any retail investor that bought it is asked out. You know what I mean? And that really goes to show about, all this protection they're giving us. Everyone got rich except for retail there.
Oh man, it ran so hard though. I mean, it from I'm trying to pull up a chart on it now, if I still can, but
Yeah, it was bonkers. It was almost a year ago now, last spring, early summer, and it just went on and on and on. It was ridiculous.
yeah, they hit like $3.21, and I was getting calls starting at like 30 cents, and they kept on saying, man, the stock's going up. Stock's going up. You got to buy the stock. There's more news. Did you hear about what's happening with Pedro's List? I was like, dude, let me talk to your floor manager. He's like, what are you talking about? I was like, I know you're in a room. I was like, let me talk to the guy doing that because I have a stock I'd love for him to pitch.
Right.
They would never get me on with the manager of the floor. They wouldn't ever get me on with somebody that they wouldn't even get him to call me back when I was like, I got another client that he can have.
Well, it was worth a shot, I guess.
I want to see where it go. There's certain people that come back, they just don't know any new tricks, and they go back to the same old thing, and they try to cover it up by using other people. I mean, the boiler room I did work in, the FBI shut down, and it was right around the time of WorldCom and Enron. It's a while ago, but yeah, it's not. It's shiesty, man. It really is. I'm glad I'm not part of it.
Well, they regulated one end and it popped out the other end with crypto, I guess. So I'm not sure it was mission accomplished.
No, they just transitioned to something else and kept moving. What about
Absolutely.
in De Novo Therapeutics? ENDV trading at 0031, up 34% today. I mean, it had reasonable amount of money flow through the stock today. They did like 40.4 million shares.
Yeah, so they closed this deal that they've been working on, which is kind of also them, but they're saying that they're going to roll the assets, I think, of that company into a NASDAQ shell. And they said it was worth $50 million. They've been working on this deal for about a year, and then a huge front load the day prior to this news coming out, and then just dilution right into it all day. At one point, it was hitting into the dub fives, and then the cross trade started hitting.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, so
It's unbelievable how they dump into such a news. I mean, really good news. They could have done a lot. The stock could have done a lot.
It was good news. It was really good.
I mean, the way they are dumping into something like this is unbelievable. It's this is really ugly stuff.
There's no patience in the game.
They sell like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Oh, that's sad. Thought I brought up something positive, and here it is, another one.
It was positive, but I mean, they couldn't help themselves.
So I think the craziest setup I've seen is there's this little pink sheet. I know people in the past have heard about it, but um, that is the parent company to a NASDAQ stock. And I know people may have heard of, oh, how am I forgetting the ticker of this? GGII.
Yes, we have. Yeah. They're a parent company of Hempaco.
Yeah, and Himpaco is going to be on our space, by the way. I've got my old partner or whatever trying to work an IR deal for us on Himpaco. And I know the CEO, I know people behind it, but how in the hell does a pink sheet 0007 stock become the parent company to Himpaco? That's a weird setup.
I mean, they raised a lot of capital on that first GGII run
Yeah.
because they had so much of it prior to announcing the deal. And so I guess they were able to do what they needed to do, and then they were able to take that and double up and then make that money again on the NASDAQ. So hats off, I guess.
Dude, my pastor bought a ton of GGII down at like 0006, 0007, and was able to sell at 14 cents when it hit its peak. Paid off his house, moved to the villages in Florida, and retired with his wife. I'm not joking.
I believe it, man.
He came back just to thank me for the trade. I mean, I didn't give him any inside information. I was actually working for GGII at the time, helping them do like CBD launches and guerrilla marketing and stuff like that, and doing their online um, marketing, social media stuff. Helped them create logos and do all kinds of stuff. And then next thing you know, Tom Alafros let go of the control of the company, and in stepped Sandro.
Weird. I missed what the GGI. What I heard the guy bought an island and all that, but what was the deal on the stock?
Just that they own Hempaco and always have.
Yeah.
And Himpaco is a what type of business?
Oh man, okay,
The
let me give you a
NASDAQ
little skinny on that. It's hilarious. Now you'll know a lot of the names connected to the company. Like they have hemp cigarettes, which is a healthy alternative to tobacco smoking. But they've got Snoop. They have
So are alligators.
what's his name? Rick Ross, and a
Oh,
few other like main names that have their own brands underneath the Himpaco. Let me go to it. Now it's interesting.
okay.
So when you go to their himpaco.com, yes, disrupting tobacco with CBD hemp cigarettes. Yeah, they've got Snoop Dogg that has his, because apparently I didn't know this until recently, but Snoop stopped smoking weed. That's a crazy thought right there, but he did.
Serious? Are you smoking weed right now?
No, I'm serious, man. I don't even smoke weed anymore, and I loved it forever, but I quit. I quit for my kids.
Oh,
But
is that a pink sheet? GGII?
GGII is the parent
Yes, it
company
is.
to a NASDAQ stock. Crazy.
Right. A pink.
Yeah, they're on the pink sheets.
Why are they not coming? Let's see here. I remember now the whole Snoop Dogg thing. That was the one he was involved with the cigarettes. Let's see
And
here.
Himpico went public through GGII. They bought controlling interest of, I think, 200 something million shares of stock in GGII, and then they spun off their own company out of it and listed on the NASDAQ in 2022 under symbol HPCO, and they began trading.
Okay. I wonder. Okay, I need to write that down. It won't add to my list here for some reason. let's see here, pink. So I heard on Herb, I don't know if anybody's watching that one, HERB. I heard that the VP who was over here went to the Philippines and then went back to Asia and will not be back over here until, let me double check. I think it's May. So there might be some quietness on that for a little while.
Do you think
But
he could
from
ask anyone in Asia to try to buy it? Because it doesn't seem like anyone over here is interested in doing it.
what now? One more
Do you
time?
think he could ask people in Asia to buy the stock? Because it doesn't seem anyone in North America ever buys it. And I don't really know why, because it is decent.
I don't know. There is some small accumulation on Fidelity. I've noticed because I got that when I worked a short time for them for like 3 weeks or so. Now I saw a Novo and Fidelity had some holdings in it. Let's see here. Let's wait from China. Oh, should be back from China at the end of April. But what more importantly, I don't know if y'all ever read the filings on it, but at one point they were going to do a bond guaranteed buyback for $1 on this stock. And from what I understand, they have a lot of stuff going on. So we'll want to watch, maybe when she comes back and see what develops on the press. But my understanding is they're going to do some projects and then turn around and buy back their own stock towards the end of the year. So I've got it on the watch list for that reason. You might want to watch the filings, just keep an eye on anything that's said about that. Some kind of bond. I've never seen that before, but it's like some type of guaranteed bond that the company will buy back. Maybe y'all can speak to that. I don't know.
I guess because they were doing lots of stuff like that. They promised a dividend. They hired Manny Pacquiao. They've got tons of revenue. It's, by all intents and purposes, a great company. I just don't know what the path to volume is there, because like today it was just someone whacked the bid at 06 and then just a couple paint jobs to keep it green. And like, I don't know what to say anymore with it.
Right. I understand. Well, from my understanding, when I interviewed about what she was doing over in the Philippines, is supposedly Manny came on the board because they were going to build solar housing over there. And then Manny's supposed to kind of, after they met the other day and those pictures surfaced of that meeting at his house, he's supposed to, I guess, lead that project over there with their assistance and other companies and start actually building the houses. So I don't know if that's what's going to be announced when she gets back. I'm not sure.
I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Herb, I've been trading this like for at least 5 years or so.
Really?
I know them for a long time. I've been following them for a long time, and I know what they tried. They tried the preferred dividend. They told us they couldn't get it through FINRA. Then FINRA told them to get audited financials. Then they did that. They still didn't get the preferred dividend through. That's what they told us. That was the reason they got the audited financials, because FINRA apparently told them they need that in order to get the preferred dividend through. And that never happened. They wanted to do a spin-off. FINRA didn't sign off on it. That's the story, at least. They tried a lot.
Okay, cool. I appreciate that. Two more, and then I'll be silent. Tide Rock, I brought up when it was $0.015 here in the room. It's now 0265, and I said it should go to 3. I don't know what it's going to do if it reaches 3, but that's one to keep on the radar. Went up again a little bit. The other one, did y'all talk about IGPK?
Yeah, we did,
yet?
but that's cool.
Yeah, we got plenty on it.
What was the touch base on that?
We're watching a video.
A bunch of stuff,
Watching the video, they've got the video clearly shows they're banging a gong, symbolizing they're opening the NASDAQ bell. But it's in China. They're all in red. It's definitely not in the U.S.
Right.
And I don't know if it was just a ceremonial thing for pump in circumstance, or if they actually are filing financials and finalizing everything to upgrade IGPK to NASDAQ stock going through the process. Who knows? I mean, because there's no actual confirmed information about it yet.
Right. So the only thing I want to add, and I don't know if anybody read the tweets or not that I put out, but I actually called remember the pictures that came out of the TikTok platform that it showed IGPK right there, like on somebody's screenshot,
Yeah.
like that was being traded. So I called Fidelity International Trading Desk, and I talked to a guy named Jacob, and I said, Jacob, can you look up IGPK and tell me what platform it's trading on? So he looked up to Hong Kong. He said, it's not on there. He looked up to Shanghai or Shang something. It's not on there. He said, now there are 3 platforms in China that no broker here can even access.
Yep.
He goes, could be on. And so then I gave him the new ticker, and I said, can you see if this ticker is either taken by anybody or reserved by anybody, or if you see anything about this ticker? And he took quite a while, and he came back and he said that he could see IGK. He doesn't see anything about the name change that was filed in Nevada. Of course, it's still just in the state, right? But on their system, he sees nothing. And he said, but let me tell you something about what you're asking about. He goes, if they're trading this internationally, it's not going to be under IGPK or
JFHE.
whatever. He said it's going to be a number. He said in the China markets, it's either a 3 to 4 digit number or a 6-digit number. It's not. There is no letters. Everything is identified by a number. So then I kind of referenced back to when somebody posted that TikTok picture that showed their screenshot of their phone where it said IGPK. I didn't notice, or I couldn't see if it said it and there was a number underneath it or not. But he said that they don't represent any stock on their phone by name. It's all
There
numbers.
is a number behind the gong on the bottom, a 3-digit number. 2
that could be a stock number. Can you see
I'm
it?
trying to see it. I'm watching the stupid little video now. 28. Is it just 28?
He said if it's on their
It's a
exchanges,
3-digit
the ones
number.
they don't have access to. Yeah, he said it's either 3 or 4 numbers or it's 6 numbers, one or the other.
Can't tell. Right behind the gong
So
on the
that might
right-hand side, it's clearly 2-8 next to each other, but I see characters on the right and left of the 2-8, and I can't tell what they are because of the post holding up the gong and the guy's leg hiding it. So
okay, well, we can do some. I mean, it can only be 0 through 10, or 0 through 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
yeah,
right? So, well, unless it's 4 digits, but you think it's 3?
man, I can't see it, man. The gong's hiding it. I mean, it says
No, I mean, only 3, or you think there's more? It's possible that it could be 4 numbers based on how long it looks.
I see 2, and I can't confirm how many it is.
Well, okay, well, maybe when we catch some more videos, y'all might want to look for numbers and see if you can find a number anywhere. The thing is, he said today, like technically their filings were due today, and if not, they would need to have filed an extension, whether it be 5 days or 15 days or whatever, and we still don't have an extension.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we'll see.
All right.
Perfect. Well, thanks for coming on.
Oh, BYD.
Okay.
Anybody buy BYD?
No.
Y'all know that's not a pink sheep. That's the Chinese car maker that's about to blast the whole lower market of over here.
Really? BYD.
Any thought? Oh yeah. If you go to BYD.com.
No, this is a EV maker. They're going to try and get their cars sold
EV
here.
car. The one that Elon said is kicking his ass in China right now on the low end. Not on the high end, but on the low end. They also make the turbo trains, those fast trains you see over there.
The BYD company.
Yeah. Well, we'll keep an eye on it. Thank you, Stock Awareness. Have a good one.
All right, guys. It's been a pleasure. It's been fun. Thanks for joining OTC Stock Talk, a community where we can bring good due diligence information on the tables for you to consider when thinking about investing in penny stocks. Please know what you own. Do your own due diligence. We are not licensed advisors, but we are definitely here to help expose any real information about companies that we can and bring interesting situations to the forefront. Thanks, guys.
Awesome.
OTC.
Thanks. We'll see you Tuesday.
Kiko, you
Have
got
a good
anything?
weekend.
Or Shido, you got anything to say?
No, just have a good Easter weekend and see you next week, right?
You bet.
Got it, guys. All right, signing off.
All right. Have a good one.
Perfect.
Bye-bye.
Bye.